The 1970s were a turbulent time for the auto industry, marked by oil crises, economic downturns, and changing consumer demands. Manufacturers struggled to produce affordable cars for cash-strapped buyers, but many of these vehicles came with serious compromises, especially in the engine department. Here are 11 cars from the 1970s with notoriously unreliable and poorly designed engines that often became a burden for the low-income families who relied on them for daily transportation.
Dear viewer, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support.
Number 11, the Oldsmobile Omega, 1973 to 1979, was introduced as part of General Motors' effort to offer a smaller, fuel-efficient compact during the turbulent automotive climate of the 1970s. As a badge-engineered version of the Chevrolet Nova, the Omega shared most of its mechanical underpinnings with other GMX body cars. Despite being marketed as a more refined alternative, the Omega faced significant issues, particularly with engine reliability. These flaws, combined with its uninspiring design, ensured that the Omega did not live up to Oldsmobile's reputation for quality. The Omega borrowed heavily from the Chevrolet Nova, with subtle changes to the grille, badging, and trim to give it an upscale feel. However, the Omega's styling lacked innovation, making it look bland and outdated as the 1970s progressed. 1975 facelift. Minor changes were introduced, including a revised grille and optional upper windows, but these updates failed to make a significant impact. Interior layout. The interior was one of the few areas where the Omega tried to distinguish itself from the Nova, offering more comfortable upholstery, simulated wood accents, and optional power accessories. However, fit and finish issues were common, and the cabin materials deteriorated quickly. Space was adequate for a compact, but the rear seats were cramped in the coupe and hatchback versions. Engine options and performance. The Omega offered a variety of engines, but V6 engines in particular were plagued with starting and stalling issues, earning the car a reputation for being unreliable. Inline 6, 250 cubic inches, 4.1 liters. This engine was underpowered but reliable, with 105 to 110 horsepower. It became the base engine for many models. 6231 cubic inches, 3.8-liter Buick sourced. Prone to stalling, this engine was notorious for hard starts, especially in cold weather, and often stalled at idle. The carburetor was sensitive to tuning issues, and vapor lock problems were common. Hard starting. Owners frequently reported difficulties starting the engine, leading to frustrations at a time when vehicle reliability was paramount. Small block V8, 305 cubic inches, Meyer 5.0 liters, and 350 cubic inches, Meyer 5.7 liters. Optional V8 engines gave the Omega better performance, but came with poor fuel economy, which made them less appealing during the fuel crisis. 3-speed manual, base option, but rarely chosen. 4-speed manual, available with the V8 engines, offering a more engaging driving experience. 3-speed automatic, TH350. Most common transmission, but it sometimes struggled with rough shifts and early wear. The Omega's ride quality was reasonably smooth for a compact, but the X-body platform had significant flaws, including excessive body roll and poor weight distribution. Steering was vague, and the car was prone to front-end alignment issues, leading to uneven tire wear. Brakes. The drum brakes on lower trims were inadequate, while models equipped with front disc brakes performed better, but still lagged behind competitors. Stalling and hard starting. The Buick-sourced V6 engine was a major weak point, notorious for stalling at idle and having starting issues, especially in cold weather. Many of these problems were tied to poor carburetor tuning and the engine's susceptibility to vapor lock. Electrical problems. Some models experienced frequent issues with the ignition system and starter motors, which compounded the car's reputation for hard starting. Rust issues. Like many 1970s cars, the Omega was prone to rust, particularly in the door panels, fenders, and undercarriage. Fit and finish problems. Build quality varied greatly. with misaligned body panels and poorly assembled interiors being common complaints. The Oldsmobile Omega competed with other compact cars, but it struggled to stand out in a crowded field. Chevrolet Nova, essentially the same car, but without the reliability issues of the Omega's V6, Ford Maverick, offered better performance and more consistent reliability. Dodge Dart Plymouth Valiant, known for durability, making them a better choice for budget-conscious buyers. AMC Hornet, quirky but affordable, with better engine options. Initial sales. The Omega benefited from Oldsmobile's strong brand reputation initially, but word of mouth about poor engine performance and reliability issues soon began to hurt sales. Decline in popularity. By the late 1970s, the Omega's outdated styling and mechanical flaws made it less competitive. GM's poor reputation for compact cars during this period didn't help either. The Oldsmobile Omega, 1973 to 1979, is remembered as an unremarkable and flawed attempt at a compact car. While Oldsmobile hoped to offer a more refined version of the Chevrolet Nova, the Omega's awkward mix of upscale aspirations and mechanical shortcomings failed to impress buyers. The stalling and starting problems with the V6 engine became a major point of frustration, damaging its reputation. Today, the Omega has little collectability or nostalgic value. Number 10. The Dodge Aspen, 1976 to 1980, was introduced as part of Chrysler's attempt to offer a modern compact car during a time of tightening emissions regulations, rising fuel prices, and shifting consumer preferences. It was marketed as a stylish, practical alternative to domestic and imported competitors. However, the Aspen suffered from numerous reliability problems, particularly related to its inline-six engine, and quickly became known as one of Chrysler's more infamous missteps during the 1970s. The Aspen was designed with sharp, clean lines and a formal, squared-off front end, which contrasted with the curvier designs of earlier Chrysler models. The coupe featured a sloping roofline, giving it a sportier appearance, while the station wagon was marketed as a practical family vehicle. Chrysler offered several trim packages, including the upscale SE, Special Edition, models with vinyl roofs, extra chrome, and wood grain trim on wagons. The Aspen's cabin was relatively spacious for a compact car and featured plush seats and simulated wood accents, especially in higher trims. However, poor fit and finish plagued the interior, with rattles, sagging headliners, and poorly aligned dash panels becoming common complaints. Despite its intended upscale feel, the interior materials were cheap, prone to wear, and quickly faded under sunlight exposure. The Dodge Aspen offered a variety of engines, but the 225 cubic inch, 3.7 liters, slant-six engine was the most common and caused the most problems. 225 cubic inches, 3.7 liters, slant-six inline-six power. Output 90 to 110 horsepower, stalling at idle. The inline-six was notoriously unreliable at idle, stalling frequently due to poor carburetor tuning. Hard starts in cold weather. Drivers often experienced difficulty starting the engine in low temperatures, which further frustrated owners. Vapor lock problems. Hot weather made the carburetor prone to vapor lock, which exacerbated stalling issues. 318 cubic inches, 5.2 liters. V8A, more powerful option. The 318 V8 provided better acceleration, but was hindered by Chrysler's early attempts at emissions control, which limited its potential. 360 cubic inches, 5.9 liters. V8, found in performance-oriented models, but the extra power came with poor fuel economy. 3-speed manual, base models. 4-speed manual, offered with V8 engines. 3-speed automatic, torque flight. While generally reliable, Chrysler's automatic transmission sometimes developed shifting issues, requiring frequent adjustments. The Aspen featured torsion bar front suspension and rear leaf springs, providing a relatively smooth ride for the time. However, the soft suspension resulted in significant body roll, especially during cornering. Steering was vague, and the car struggled with understeer, making it feel clumsy compared to some of its competitors. Early models were also prone to alignment issues, causing uneven tire wear. The 225 slant-6 engine, despite its simple design, was plagued by stalling issues. Many of these were caused by Chrysler's inability to properly tune the carburetors to meet new emission standards, resulting in lean mixtures at idle. The Aspen became infamous for severe rust problems, particularly in the fenders, doors, and rocker panels. Many owners reported rust developing within the first few years, even in dry climates. Early models suffered from faulty alternators and inconsistent ignition systems, causing starting issues and frequent battery failures. Quality control was poor, with misaligned panels, faulty weather seals, and squeaky interiors reported by many buyers. Market performance and competition sales success then declined. The Aspen initially sold well, even being named Motor Trend's 1976 Car of the Year, but its reputation quickly deteriorated as owners began to experience significant reliability issues. Chevrolet Nova, more reliable and had better resale value. Ford Granada, marketed as a luxury compact with better build quality. AMC Hornet, quirky but more durable than the Aspen. Toyota Corona and Datsun 510, rising imports that offered better fuel economy and fewer mechanical issues. The Dodge Aspen is often remembered as one of Chrysler's more disappointing efforts during the 1970s. While it initially attracted attention with its sharp styling and was even honored with an award, it quickly developed a poor reputation for reliability. The stalling problems with the slant-6 engine and persistent rust issues left many buyers frustrated, and the car's resale value plummeted. Today, the Aspen has little to no collectible value, aside from niche interest in high performance or rare trims like the RT package. It stands as a reminder of Chrysler's struggles during the 1970s, as the company wrestled with quality control issues, emissions regulations, and an increasingly competitive marketplace. The Aspen story is a cautionary tale about the perils of rushed development and poor quality control in the auto industry. Number 9. The Ford Pinto, 1971 to 1980, is infamous for the fuel tank design flaw that made it prone to catching fire in rear-end collisions, overshadowing many of its other issues. However, beyond its dangerous reputation, the Pinto was also plagued by poor mechanical performance, including its underpowered 1.6-liter engine. The car was part of Ford's push to compete with small imports like the Volkswagen Beetle and Datsun 510, but the Pinto fell short in terms of power, durability, and reliability. The Pinto's exterior was minimalist and unremarkable, designed to offer a compact and affordable option during the rise of small, fuel-efficient imports. Styling changes were minor throughout its production run, with larger bumpers added after 1973 to comply with federal crash standards. Unfortunately, these bumpers didn't address the critical flaw with the fuel tank, which was dangerously located near the rear axle. The wagon variant was somewhat popular, offering extra practicality with better cargo space. Interior. The Pinto's cabin was bare bones, featuring inexpensive materials like vinyl seats and basic instruments. Higher trims offered minimal upgrades, but interior quality was poor, with seats and dashboards prone to cracking and peeling. Comfort was limited, and the cramped rear seats were a compromise for the compact dimensions. 1.6-liter inline-4, Kent engine. Power output, 54 to 65 horsepower. Problems, underpowered. The engine struggled to move the car with any sense of urgency, especially when loaded with passengers or cargo. Poor acceleration, 0 to 60 miles per hour, times hovered around 16 to 18 seconds, making the Pinto dangerously slow in highway traffic. High RPM noise. The engine was noisy and unrefined, creating an unpleasant driving experience. Irel inline-4, OHC. Slightly more powerful but still inadequate, with 75 to 86 horsepower. It provided better performance than the 1.6-liter, but didn't solve the car's fundamental weaknesses. Transmission options. 4-speed manual. The standard transmission, but the gear ratios were poorly suited to the weak engines. 3-speed automatic. Optional, though it further reduced performance, making the car sluggish and less efficient. .23L inline-4 Lima engine. Introduced later in the run, this engine was more reliable and powerful, though it came too late to save the Pinto's reputation. V6, optional on wagon models, available only on certain trims, offering better performance at the cost of fuel economy. The Pinto's ride quality was rough, with minimal insulation that made every bump and rattle audible. Steering was vague, and the car felt unstable at higher speeds, particularly on highways. Suspension. While Ford claimed the car had a European-inspired suspension, the handling was mediocre at best, with significant body roll in corners. Mechanical issues and reliability engine problems. The 1.6-liter Kent engine was known for frequent stalling and overheating, especially in warmer climates. Oil leaks and timing issues were common, resulting in costly repairs. Owners frequently complained about hard starting, particularly in cold weather. Rust issues. Like many 1970s cars, the Pinto was highly susceptible to rust, especially around the wheel wells and undercarriage. Transmission failures. The 3-speed automatic transmission was prone to slipping and early failure, further frustrating owners. Electrical issues. Faulty wiring and ignition problems caused starting failures and inconsistent lighting, adding to the car's reputation for unreliability. The Pinto's greatest flaw was the fuel tank design, which was positioned dangerously close to the rear axle. In rear-end collisions, the tank was prone to rupturing and causing fires. Ford's internal memos showed that the company was aware of the problem, but decided that paying lawsuits would be cheaper than redesigning the car. Explosive rear collisions. The defect led to multiple lawsuits, including the infamous Grimshaw versus Ford Motor Company case, which resulted in a large settlement. The Ford Pinto is remembered as one of the most infamous cars in automotive history, not only for its explosive safety flaw, but also for lackluster performance and unreliable mechanics. The underpowered 1.6-liter engine contributed to a sluggish, frustrating driving experience, which compounded the car's other mechanical and safety shortcomings. Today, the Pinto stands as a symbol of corporate negligence and poor engineering decisions. It has no real collectible value beyond serving as a grim reminder of how cost-cutting measures can backfire. Ford's decision to prioritize profits over safety and the Pinto's subpar performance ensured its place among the most notorious failures in automotive history. Recall? Ford eventually recalled the Pinto in 1978 under pressure from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, though the damage to the car's reputation was already done. Number 8, the Plymouth Volare, 1976 to 1980, intended as a compact modern replacement for the aging Valiant, quickly became one of Chrysler's more notorious failures. Marketed as a stylish and practical family car, the Volare suffered from numerous mechanical issues, including engine knock, frequent stalling, and rust problems. Despite winning the Motor Trend Car of the Year award in 1976, it soon became synonymous with poor reliability and low build quality, damaging Plymouth's reputation. The Volare was styled with more formal, squared-off lines than its predecessor, the Valiant, reflecting the design trends of the mid-1970s. Like its sibling, the Dodge Aspen, the Volare featured large bumpers to meet federal crash standards, which added to its weight and compromised its performance. A variety of trims were offered, including base models and an upscale premier trim with vinyl tops and chrome accents. The interior was intended to be more upscale than the Valiant, with plush seats and faux wood grain trim. However, poor quality materials meant that seats sagged and dashboards cracked after only a few years. Interior rattles were common, and weather seals often failed, allowing water leaks and wind noise. Engine options and performance. 225 cubic inches, 3.7 liters, slant-6 engine. Knock-poor carburetor tuning caused knocking and misfires, which worsened over time if not addressed. Frequent stalling. The engine was prone to stalling, particularly at idle, due to lean fuel mixtures meant to comply with emission standards. Hard starting in cold weather. Cold starts were notoriously difficult, often requiring multiple attempts. 318 cubic inches, 5.2 liters. The 8A, more powerful option, but emissions regulations reduced its efficiency. Even with the V8, the Volare remained sluggish due to the car's weight. 360 cubic inches, 5.9 liters. V8 reserved for performance models, but with fuel economy and reliability issues, it did little to enhance the car's appeal. Transmission options: 3-speed manual, base models, 4-speed manual, offered on higher trims, 3-speed automatic, Torque-a-Flight. Reliable in other Chrysler vehicles, but occasionally suffered from harsh shifting in the Volare. Ride and handling: the Volare introduced a new transverse torsion bar front suspension, which Chrysler hoped would improve ride quality. While the ride was smoother than the Valiant's, handling was poor, with excessive body roll in corners and vague steering feedback. The car felt unstable at highway speeds, and alignment problems caused uneven tire wear. Reliability and mechanical issues: engine knock and stalling problems. The Slant 6 engine, despite being known for its durability in other Chrysler models, suffered from carburetor issues in the Volare. Lean fuel mixtures, designed to meet emission standards, caused frequent knocking and misfires, leading to stalling at idle or during deceleration. The ignition system was unreliable, with many owners reporting sudden engine shutdowns on the road. The Volare was infamous for severe rust problems, particularly in the fenders, doors, and undercarriage. In some cases, rust appeared within the first 2 years of ownership, even in regions without harsh winters. The car experienced frequent alternator failures, and the starter motor was prone to malfunction, making it difficult to start the car. Owners also reported faulty gauges and lighting issues, which added to the frustration. The Volare initially sold well, with Chrysler banking on its sleek styling and smoother ride. However, quality control problems quickly emerged, and the car developed a reputation for being unreliable. Chevrolet Nova, more reliable and better resale value. Ford Granada, marketed as a luxury compact with fewer mechanical issues. AMC Hornet, quirky but more durable and dependable than the Volare. Japanese imports: Toyota Corolla, Datsun 510. These compact cars offered better fuel efficiency and far superior reliability. The Plymouth Volare stands as a prime example of Chrysler's struggles with quality control during the late 1970s. Although it was intended to be a modern, practical compact, the car's stalling issues, engine knock, rust problems, and general unreliability tarnished its reputation. Despite initial sales success and awards, the Volare soon became a symbol of poor engineering and rushed development. It serves as a reminder of how the American automotive industry struggled to adapt to new emission standards and rising consumer expectations during this era. Today, the Volare has little collectible value, except as a cautionary example of what can go wrong with ambitious redesigns. Number 7. The Chrysler Cordoba, 1975 to 1983, was Chrysler's attempt to offer a personal luxury coupe to compete with the likes of the Chevrolet Monte Carlo and Ford Thunderbird. While the Cordoba was marketed with some success, thanks to Riccardo Montalban's famous Corinthian leather ads, it was plagued by serious mechanical problems, especially with the 5.2-liter V8. The engine was loud, underpowered, and notorious for oil leaks, while the car's bulky design resulted in poor fuel economy and handling, making it an increasingly outdated option by the early 1980s. The Cordoba featured curved lines and a formal front grille, with hidden headlights on some models, a typical design element of personal luxury cars in the 1970s. Its opera windows and available vinyl roof gave it an upscale appearance, though these design touches quickly became dated. Starting in 1980, Chrysler redesigned the Cordoba with a boxier, more angular design, but it failed to recapture consumer interest. The interior was promoted heavily with soft Corinthian leather seats, but the materials were prone to cracking and fading. Higher trims included wood grain accents, plush carpeting, and optional power seats, but the build quality was uneven, and many parts rattled or broke with time. Space in the rear seats was limited, and the trunk offered less capacity than some competitors, making it impractical for a large coupe. Despite its V8 configuration, the engine struggled to move the car's over 4,000-pound curb weight, resulting in sluggish acceleration. The engine produced excessive noise, especially at high RPMs, which clashed with the car's intended luxury image. The valve cover gaskets and oil pans were notorious for leaking, requiring frequent maintenance. 5.9 liters, 360 cubic inches. V8 offered slightly more power, but at the cost of even worse fuel economy. Many owners opted for the smaller 5.2-liter V8 to save on gas, though the performance difference was minimal. 6.6 liters, 400 cubic inches. V8 available on earlier models, this engine offered more torque, but government emissions regulations significantly reduced its power output. 3-speed automatic, torque flight. Chrysler's reliable but outdated transmission. While generally durable, it wasn't well matched to the Cordoba's weight, resulting in sluggish shifts and poor fuel economy. Chrysler attempted to deliver a smooth, luxurious ride with a soft suspension, but the result was a boat-like feel with significant body roll in corners. Steering was vague and unresponsive, and the car felt unstable at higher speeds, especially in windy conditions. Braking was underwhelming, requiring long stopping distances due to the car's weight and outdated drum brakes on earlier models. The 5.2-liter V8 was notorious for oil leaks from the valve covers, oil pan, and rear main seal. Many owners had to frequently top up oil levels, with some reporting oil leaking shortly after repairs were made. The engine struggled to maintain power, and cold starts were difficult due to carburetor issues. The carburetor often caused rough idling, stalling, and backfiring. Like many cars from the 1970s, the Cordoba was severely hampered by poor gas mileage, often achieving 12 to 15 miles per gallon at best. This made it impractical during the gasoline crises of the late 1970s. The Cordoba suffered from wiring issues, with power accessories like windows and seats frequently malfunctioning. Dash gauges and warning lights were prone to failure, leaving drivers in the dark about potential mechanical problems. The Cordoba, especially in northern climates, was prone to severe rust, particularly around the wheel wells, rocker panels, and undercarriage. When introduced in 1975, the Cordoba initially sold well, but its sales quickly declined as consumers became frustrated with its poor reliability and rising fuel costs. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo and Ford Thunderbird offered similar luxury styling, but were perceived as more reliable and better performing alternatives. Additionally, the Japanese automakers began to capture market share with more fuel-efficient and reliable cars. Offered similar styling but with better reliability and resale value, provided a smoother ride and better handling. A more refined personal luxury coupe with fewer mechanical problems. The Chrysler Cordoba stands as an example of style over substance. While the car was heavily marketed as a luxurious personal coupe, it was hampered by underpowered engines, oil leaks, unreliable components, and poor driving dynamics. The 5.2-liter V8 in particular became emblematic of Chrysler's struggle to balance performance with emissions regulations. By the time the Cordoba was discontinued in 1983, it was widely seen as outdated and inefficient, with little collectible value today. It serves as a reminder of the challenges American automakers faced during the oil crises and the shift toward more fuel-efficient and reliable vehicles. Number 6, the Ford Granada, 1975 to 1982, was introduced as a mid-size luxury sedan aimed at offering a more affordable alternative to European models like the Mercedes-Benz 280. However, Ford's ambitious marketing couldn't mask the Granada's significant flaws, particularly its underwhelming 250 cubic inch 4.1-liter straight-six engine, which was plagued by sluggish throttle response and poor performance. Though the Granada enjoyed some initial success due to its styling and luxury-focused features, it quickly developed a reputation as an unreliable, uninspired car, with buyers often regretting the purchase. The Granada featured boxy, formal styling with large chrome grilles and bumpers, evoking the look of European luxury sedans. In its early years, the Granada shared many components with the Ford Maverick, which gave it a somewhat awkward and dated appearance. Wire wheel covers, opera windows, and vinyl roofs were available to enhance the car's luxury appeal, though these styling cues aged poorly. The Granada's interior was marketed as upscale, with available plush velour or optional leather upholstery, but the quality of materials was inconsistent. Many owners reported sagging seats and fading dashboards, while rattles developed after just a few thousand miles. While it came with power accessories and air conditioning, these features were prone to electrical issues, reducing the car's practicality. Engine options and performance: 250 cubic inches, 4.1 liters, straight six. The weakest link, sluggish throttle response. The engine struggled to accelerate, making even moderate city driving feel labored. Poor carburetor design. The single-barrel carburetor often caused the engine to bog down under throttle, leading to hesitation and poor low-end torque. Cold start problems. Owners frequently reported hard starting in cold weather, requiring multiple attempts to get the engine running. Vibration issues. The straight six was prone to rough idling and significant engine vibrations at higher RPMs, making long drives uncomfortable. 302 cubic inches, 5.0 liters. V8. While offering more power, it didn't significantly improve the car's overall performance due to the Granada's weight and poor aerodynamics. The fuel economy was abysmal, further compounding its drawbacks. 200 cubic inches, 3.3 liters, straight six. A smaller option, but equally underwhelming. It offered slightly better fuel economy, but even worse performance than the 250 cubic inch engine. Transmission options: 3-speed manual, rarely selected, standard on base models; 4-speed manual, offered but uncommon; 3-speed automatic, C4. Most Granadas were equipped with this transmission. Though generally reliable, the automatic paired poorly with the 250 cubic inch engine, making it feel sluggish and unresponsive. Ford emphasized luxury ride quality, so the suspension was tuned to be soft and floaty, but this came at the cost of poor handling. Body roll was excessive in corners, and the steering was vague, making the Granada feel unstable at highway speeds. Brake fade was another common complaint, with the car's disc drum brake setup struggling to provide consistent stopping power. The 250 cubic inch straight six engine was ill-suited to the Granada's size and weight, resulting in sluggish acceleration that frustrated drivers. This became especially problematic when merging onto highways or driving uphill. Poorly tuned carburetors caused hesitation under acceleration and frequent stalling at idle, forcing owners to visit mechanics regularly. Power windows, air conditioning, and instrument clusters were notorious for shorting out or malfunctioning. Rust frequently appeared on the fender wells, door sills, and undercarriage, particularly in models driven in regions with harsh winters. The 250 cubic inch engine struggled with choke issues during cold starts, often requiring multiple attempts to fire up, especially in colder climates. When it debuted in 1975, the Granada enjoyed initial sales success, as it was marketed as a luxury car for the working class. However, its poor performance, sluggish engine options, and dated design quickly soured public opinion. By the early 1980s, buyers were shifting towards smaller, more efficient cars from Japanese manufacturers, and the Granada's inefficiencies and reliability problems made it increasingly unappealing. Chevrolet Malibu. More refined and reliable, with better engine options. Dodge Aspen, also plagued with mechanical issues, but offered slightly better handling. AMC Concord, quirky but better suited to buyers looking for a compact luxury option. Toyota Cressida, a more reliable and fuel-efficient alternative, with rising popularity by the early 1980s. The Ford Granada, 1975 to 1982, serves as a cautionary tale of over-ambitious marketing paired with poor execution. While it promised affordable luxury, the underpowered 250 cubic inch straight six engine, sluggish performance, and frequent mechanical issues made it a frustrating ownership experience. Number 5. The Dodge Colt, 1971 to 1979, was Chrysler's attempt to compete in the growing market for small, fuel-efficient imports during a time when American automakers were scrambling to address changing consumer preferences. Sourced from Mitsubishi Motors and rebadged as a Dodge for the North American market, the Colt offered good fuel economy and affordability. However, the Mitsubishi-sourced engines lacked durability, often requiring frequent repairs, which tarnished the car's appeal. Though it initially gained popularity, reliability issues and stiff competition from other small imports prevented it from being a long-term success. The Colt featured simple, unassuming styling with compact dimensions suited for urban driving. The design evolved throughout the 1970s but remained modest, lacking the aesthetic appeal of competitors like the Datsun B210 or Toyota Corolla. The station wagon version offered a practical option for families, although limited interior space reduced its overall utility. Inside, the Colt had basic seating and interior materials that wore out quickly, with vinyl surfaces prone to cracking. Features like air conditioning and AM radios were available, but were often unreliable due to poor electrical systems. Noise isolation was minimal, and passengers often complained about excessive engine noise entering the cabin at highway speeds. The Dodge Colt was powered by a range of Mitsubishi engines, which promised efficiency but often failed to deliver long-term durability. The 1.6-liter engine was underpowered for highway driving, struggling with steep inclines and freeway merging. Oil leaks from valve covers were common, and the engine often required frequent gasket replacements. Owners reported excessive wear on pistons and bearings, leading to engine knock and premature failures. 1.4-liter inline-4. This smaller engine provided slightly better fuel economy, but was even less powerful, making it frustrating to drive. Owners complained of overheating issues, particularly in hot climates, which often resulted in blown head gaskets. 2.0-liter inline-4. Later models, while it offered a slight improvement in power, it was hampered by poor fuel economy and suffered from the same mechanical flaws as the other engines. 4-speed manual provided a bit more control, but the shifters often felt clunky and prone to wear. 3-speed automatic. While convenient, it sapped the already limited power, further reducing the Colt's performance. The Colt's lightweight body allowed for nimble handling in city driving, but the thin tires and soft suspension led to significant body roll in corners. The ride was bumpy and unrefined, especially on rough roads, and the suspension components wore out quickly, requiring frequent maintenance. Steering was vague and imprecise, making the car feel unstable at higher speeds. The Mitsubishi engines in the Colt often develop problems after 40,000 to 50,000 miles, with many owners needing to rebuild or replace engines far sooner than expected. Oil consumption was a persistent issue, and some engines burned through oil at an alarming rate. Weak radiators and poor cooling system designs resulted in frequent overheating, especially in warmer climates, leading to cracked cylinder heads. The Colt was plagued by wiring issues, resulting in malfunctioning lights, radios, and accessories. Alternators often failed prematurely, leaving drivers stranded with dead batteries. The manual transmissions frequently suffered from worn-out synchros, making it difficult to shift smoothly. The automatic transmission was prone to slipping, especially in models with higher mileage. One of the Colt's main selling points was its fuel economy, which was decent by the standards of the time, achieving around 25 to 30 miles per gallon. However, reliability problems negated much of the car's initial appeal, and many owners became frustrated with frequent breakdowns and costly repairs. As Japanese manufacturers like Toyota and Honda introduced more reliable small cars, the Colt's reputation suffered. Key competitors, Toyota Corolla, offered better reliability and resale value. Honda Civic, more refined with fewer mechanical problems. Datsun B210, a fuel-efficient and affordable alternative with fewer durability issues. Chevrolet Chevette, similarly plagued with reliability problems, but more readily available in the U.S. The Dodge Colt, 1971 to 1979, serves as a reminder of the challenges American automakers faced when trying to partner with foreign manufacturers to meet new consumer demands. While the car's fuel economy was appealing during the oil crises of the 1970s, its lack of durability and frequent mechanical problems left many buyers dissatisfied. The Mitsubishi engines were particularly problematic, often requiring major repairs far too soon, which tarnished the Colt's reputation. By the late 1970s, the market was shifting toward more reliable Japanese imports, and the Colt was largely forgotten as Honda. Number 4. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 1973 to 1977, was a personal luxury coupe designed to attract buyers with a mix of style and comfort. While the first generation received praise for its sleek design and spacious interior, it became increasingly notorious for its big block engine options, which were characterized by poor fuel economy and reliability issues. As the automotive landscape shifted in response to oil crises and changing consumer preferences, the Monte Carlo's allure began to fade, leaving it with a mixed legacy. The Monte Carlo was introduced in 1970 as a luxurious alternative to Chevrolet's other offerings, characterized by its long hood and short rear deck, giving it a sporty and elegant profile. The 1973 redesign introduced more aggressive styling, with a wider stance and larger bumpers to comply with new safety regulations, resulting in a more massive appearance. Chrome accents were abundant, especially around the grille and windows, contributing to a sense of luxury. The interior featured plush seating and a spacious cabin, with options for velour or leather upholstery that emphasized comfort. Buyers could choose from various features, including power windows, air conditioning, and AM/FM radios, though the quality of the materials often fell short of expectations. The dashboard design was considered stylish for the time, but suffered from issues like fading dials and cracking plastics, especially in models that were exposed to sunlight. The Monte Carlo offered a range of engine options throughout its production, but many buyers gravitated toward the larger big block V8 engines, which ultimately contributed to its reputation for poor fuel economy and reliability issues. 350 cubic inches, 5.7 liters, V8 power output, approximately 145 to 180 horsepower depending on the configuration. While it offered decent performance, it still suffered from poor fuel efficiency, averaging around 10 to 15 miles per gallon in real-world driving. Oil leaks were common, often requiring frequent monitoring and maintenance. 400 cubic inches, 6.6 liters. V8 power output, around 180 to 245 horsepower, depending on the carburetor and configuration. Known for its poor fuel economy, often dropping to 8 to 12 miles per gallon, which was unsustainable, especially during the oil crises of the 1970s. This engine often experienced head gasket failures and excessive oil consumption, leading to reliability concerns. While it delivered impressive power, the fuel economy was atrocious, often falling below 8 miles per gallon. Owners reported frequent stalling, issues with the carburetor, and a tendency to run hot, leading to increased wear and tear. 3-speed manual. Rarely chosen, it provided a more engaging driving experience, but was often overshadowed by the automatic options. 3-speed turbo hydromatic automatic. This was the more popular choice, but many found it to be unresponsive, particularly with the big block engines, which reduced overall performance and drivability. The Monte Carlo was praised for its smooth ride, thanks to a soft suspension setup designed to prioritize comfort. However, this resulted in poor handling characteristics. Body roll was pronounced during cornering, and steering feedback was vague, making the car feel less stable at higher speeds. The heavy weight from the big block engines also contributed to a sluggish feel, particularly when maneuvering in tight spaces. The Monte Carlo's big block engines often suffered from carburetor-related issues, leading to poor performance, stalling, and excessive fuel consumption. Fuel lines were prone to leaks, and the fuel pumps were known to fail, requiring replacements and causing frustration for owners. Many owners reported head gasket failures, excessive oil consumption, and engine knock, particularly with the 400 and 454 engines. Frequent overheating issues plagued the big block engines, especially in hot weather, leading to serious engine damage if not addressed promptly. The automatic transmission was known to slip and fail at lower mileage than expected, leading to costly repairs. Shifting issues and vibration at higher speeds were common complaints among owners. The Monte Carlo had several electrical issues, including problems with the ignition system, which often led to hard starts and intermittent failures. Wiring problems affected everything from the dashboard lights to power accessories, often requiring extensive troubleshooting. The Chevrolet Monte Carlo, 1973 to 1977, stands as a testament to the struggles of American automakers in adapting to a rapidly changing automotive market. While it initially succeeded with its stylish design and spacious interior, the big block engines ultimately undermined its reputation with their terrible gas mileage and reliability issues. By the late 1970s, the Monte Carlo was overshadowed by more efficient and reliable competitors, leading to a significant decline in sales and interest. Today, the Monte Carlo is often remembered for its aesthetic appeal, but also for its frustrating performance and maintenance woes. Number 3, the Datsun B210, 1973 to 1978. Also known as the Datsun 120Y in some markets, was a compact car produced by Nissan during a time of increasing demand for small, fuel-efficient vehicles. While it offered some advantages like affordability and good fuel economy, the B210 was often criticized for its small, noisy engine and limited horsepower, making it less appealing for those seeking a more powerful driving experience. The Datsun B210 featured a simple, boxy design, which was typical of many compact cars of the era. Its compact dimensions made it easy to maneuver in urban environments, but its aesthetics were often considered bland compared to rivals. The hatchback variant offered practical versatility, appealing to consumers looking for a small family car. Inside, the B210 had a basic and utilitarian interior, prioritizing function over form. The seating was modest, with vinyl upholstery that wore out over time, leading to issues with tearing and cracking. Dashboard design was straightforward, with basic instrumentation and limited features, reflecting its budget-friendly approach. The B210 was powered by a small engine, which contributed to both its fuel economy and its performance limitations. The engine was known for being underpowered, especially when loaded with passengers or cargo. It struggled to keep pace on highways, leading to frustration for drivers seeking more responsive acceleration. Many owners reported that the engine was noisy, with significant vibration transmitted to the cabin, making long drives uncomfortable. The engine's design had issues with oil leaks, often requiring frequent monitoring and maintenance. While it provided slightly more power, around 85 horsepower, it still did not significantly improve the driving experience, remaining sluggish in performance. This engine was also known for its noisy operation and lack of refinement, contributing to an overall impression of low quality. 4-speed manual transmission. This was the standard option, but it was often criticized for its notchy shifting and lack of precision. 3-speed automatic transmission, offered as an option, but it sapped power from the engine, making the already sluggish performance even worse. The B210 was designed with lightweight construction, which contributed to its fuel efficiency, but also resulted in a choppy ride. Handling was adequate for city driving, but the soft suspension led to noticeable body roll during cornering, compromising stability. The steering was vague, offering little feedback, which made the car feel disconnected from the road. Many owners reported that the small engine showed signs of wear earlier than expected, often developing issues after around 60,000 miles. Problems with the timing chain were common, leading to potential engine failures if not addressed promptly. The B210 was prone to electrical gremlins, including faulty wiring that affected the starter and lighting systems. Alternator failures were also reported, leading to dead batteries and frustrating breakdowns. Like many vehicles of this era, the B210 was susceptible to rust, especially in areas with harsh climates. Owners often found that rusting began around the wheel wells and lower body panels, requiring prompt attention to prevent structural issues. One of the B210's main selling points was its fuel economy, achieving around 25 to 30 miles per gallon in mixed driving conditions. This made it appealing during the oil crisis of the 1970s, when consumers were more concerned about fuel efficiency than performance. However, as Japanese automakers improved their offerings, the B210 began to fall behind competitors like the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla, which provided better performance and reliability. Honda Civic, known for its reliability, performance, and fuel efficiency, quickly overshadowing the B210. Toyota Corolla, similar in size and price but offered better performance and comfort. Datsun 510, another model from Datsun that offered a more engaging driving experience and better features. The Datsun B210, 1973 to 1978, is often remembered for its role in the compact car market during a transformative period in American automotive history. While it offered decent fuel economy and practicality, its small, noisy engine and limited horsepower left much to be desired in terms of performance. As consumer preferences shifted toward more powerful and refined vehicles, the B210's popularity waned, leading to its discontinuation. Today, it serves as a nostalgic reminder of the era of compact cars and remains a modest classic among enthusiasts. Its reputation for reliability has improved over time, but it is still overshadowed by the stronger legacy of its competitors. Number 2, the Mazda Rotary pickup, 1974 to 1977, was an unconventional vehicle that combined the utility of a pickup truck with the unique characteristics of a rotary engine. While it aimed to offer innovative performance and fuel efficiency, it became notorious for significant reliability issues, particularly related to its rotary engine, which often led to overheating and breakdowns. The rotary pickup featured a distinctive design with a long bed and a compact cab that emphasized utility. Its lightweight construction was intended to enhance fuel efficiency and performance. Despite its practicality, the overall styling was considered somewhat dated compared to other compact pickups of the era. The interior of the rotary pickup was basic and utilitarian, focusing more on function than comfort. Seating was limited, with room for 2 passengers in the cab, and the materials were not particularly high quality, leading to wear over time. Dashboard instrumentation was straightforward, with minimal features and controls, echoing the truck's emphasis on simplicity and cost-effectiveness. The rotary engine was the defining feature of the Mazda rotary pickup, known for its unique design but plagued by performance and reliability issues. The engine was renowned for its high RPM capability and smooth operation, but it often experienced overheating, especially during heavy use or in hot climates. Owners frequently reported problems with cooling systems, leading to blown apex seals and catastrophic engine failures. The rotary design required meticulous maintenance, including regular oil changes, which many owners neglected, exacerbating reliability issues. The rotary pickup could achieve decent acceleration due to its lightweight design, but the lack of low-end torque made it feel underpowered during heavy loads or towing. While it offered good fuel economy, averaging around 20 to 25 miles per gallon, the engine's cooling problems overshadowed its advantages. This was the standard offering, providing a straightforward driving experience. 3-speed automatic transmission offered as an option, but many owners found it less engaging and not well suited to the engine's characteristics. The rotary pickup's lightweight construction contributed to its nimble handling, making it easy to maneuver in urban settings. However, the suspension was tuned more for comfort than performance, leading to noticeable body roll during cornering. Steering feedback was considered vague, which limited the driver's confidence at higher speeds. One of the most significant issues with the rotary pickup was its tendency to overheat, particularly under heavy loads or in hot weather. Cooling system failures were common, often caused by a lack of maintenance or design flaws, resulting in blown engines. The apex seals were prone to wear and damage, leading to compression loss and engine failures. Many owners experienced poor acceleration and increased oil consumption as the seals degraded. Electrical issues were not uncommon, including problems with wiring and starter motors, which could leave drivers stranded. Battery drain issues and malfunctioning gauges were frequent complaints among owners. The Mazda rotary pickup was introduced during a time when consumers were increasingly interested in compact, fuel-efficient vehicles. However, its unique rotary engine and the problems that accompanied it limited its market success. Datsun 620. Known for its reliability and conventional inline engines, the Datsun 620 was a popular choice among compact truck buyers. Toyota Hilux. With a reputation for durability and reliability, the Hilux offered better performance and fewer issues compared to the rotary pickup. Chevrolet Love. This compact truck gained popularity due to its straightforward design and dependable performance, further overshadowing the Mazda offering. The Mazda Rotary pickup, 1974 to 1977, remains a fascinating chapter in automotive history, representing Mazda's commitment to rotary engine technology. While it was innovative and offered some unique advantages, the vehicle's constant overheating issues and the resulting breakdowns ultimately tarnished its reputation. Today, the rotary pickup is often remembered by enthusiasts for its distinctive design and engineering, but also as a cautionary tale of pushing technology too far without adequate reliability measures. Its rarity and unique characteristics have made it a collectible among rotary enthusiasts, though it is often viewed with nostalgia tinged by the frustrations of its operational challenges. Number 1, the Chevrolet Nova, 1970 to 1979, was a compact car that gained popularity during the muscle car era, offering a mix of performance and practicality. However, by the late 1970s, it became notorious for its outdated engines, which were often criticized for being noisy and gas-guzzling. This decline in performance and efficiency ultimately contributed to a tarnished reputation as consumer preferences shifted towards more economical and reliable vehicles. The Nova underwent several styling changes throughout its production, with the early 1970s models featuring a more aggressive, muscular design that appealed to performance enthusiasts. The front end was characterized by a long hood and short deck, giving it a sporty profile that was typical of the era. By the late 1970s, design cues shifted to a more subdued aesthetic, aligning with changing consumer preferences towards comfort and practicality. Inside, the Nova offered a spacious cabin that prioritized passenger comfort. Interior materials were generally considered low quality, with hard plastics that did not hold up well over time. Options included basic amenities like vinyl seats, simple instrumentation, and limited technology features, reflecting the economic concerns of the period. Throughout its production run, the Chevrolet Nova was available with a range of engines, but many of these were criticized for being outdated and inefficient. This engine was known for its lack of power, especially when compared to more modern competitors. It produced excessive noise during operation, contributing to a less pleasant driving experience. Fuel economy was poor, averaging around 15 to 20 miles per gallon, which became increasingly unacceptable as gas prices rose. While it offered better performance than the inline-six, it still suffered from poor fuel efficiency, averaging around 12 to 16 miles per gallon. The engine was notorious for being noisy, with vibrations that affected cabin comfort. Reliability issues included frequent oil leaks and stalling, particularly as the engine aged. This was a powerful option, but came at the cost of fuel economy, often delivering around 10 to 14 miles per gallon. The engine's performance was hindered by its weight and outdated technology, leading to sluggish acceleration. Many owners reported excessive oil consumption and engine knocking after a few years of use. Speed manual transmission. Available as standard, but often criticized for its lack of precision and responsiveness. 3-speed turbo-hydromatic automatic transmission. The more popular choice, but many drivers found it to be slow to shift, contributing to a less engaging driving experience. The Nova was praised for its comfortable ride, thanks to a soft suspension designed for cruising. However, this also meant that handling was compromised. Body roll was noticeable during cornering, leading to a less stable feel, especially with the larger V8 engines. Steering was often described as vague, providing little feedback and affecting driver confidence. Many Nova owners reported issues with engine noise and performance as they accumulated mileage, particularly with the inline-six and smaller V8 engines. Oil leaks were a common complaint, often requiring regular maintenance and repairs. The automatic transmission was known to slip and suffer from delayed shifting, leading to a frustrating driving experience. Some models experienced transmission failures at relatively low mileage, leading to costly repairs. Electrical problems were frequent, including issues with the ignition system and battery drain, often leading to unexpected breakdowns. Dashboard components would fail, including gauges that could become inaccurate or stop working altogether. The Chevrolet Nova was initially well received due to its blend of performance and affordability, but as the 1970s progressed, its appeal diminished. The rising fuel prices and increasing competition from more fuel-efficient vehicles meant that the Nova struggled to maintain its market position. Ford Maverick. Known for its affordability and solid performance, it offered a better balance of fuel economy and power. Datsun 510. This compact car became popular for its reliability and superior handling, attracting buyers who valued performance. Toyota Corolla. Renowned for its reliability and efficiency, the Corolla offered a stark contrast to the Nova's outdated design and engine options. The Chevrolet Nova, 1970 to 1979, is a classic example of how changing market dynamics can impact a vehicle's success. While it initially appealed to a generation of car enthusiasts with its stylish design and performance potential, its outdated, noisy, and gas-guzzling engines ultimately led to a decline in popularity. As the automotive landscape evolved, the Nova struggled to adapt, losing ground to more efficient and reliable competitors. Today, it is often remembered with nostalgia, particularly among muscle car enthusiasts, but its reputation is marred by its performance and reliability issues.